All right, guys, I'm Gerard Cole from Turning Coal into Diamonds podcast. I'm an actor, I'm a comedian, I do it all. I'm a dancer. Actually, I'm a wannabe dancer, I say that. But welcome to the first or an episode with me with Black of the Berry podcast.
It's lit.
Oh shit! Listen, Los.
What's up?
We going back out to the West motherfucking coast. We got Gerard Cole on here. Yeah. He already said it. He's from Turning Coal into Diamonds. Comes out every Monday and Wednesdays. You get a new episode, audio as well as visual out there for y'all. Listen, he already said he's multi-talented. He's an actor. Listen, he's a comedian. He's not a wannabe dancer. He is a dancer. And also with the stars, he's got some hilarious shit on at his on his Instagram channel. Yeah, you can check him out. You know, at Gerard Cole, and then TCI at TCI podcast. Okay, that's TCI. Am I right? TCID podcast out there right now. So listen, turn the coals into diamonds. We got Gerard Cole. Hey, look, do me a question.
What's up, y'all?
Cue the applause.
All right.
I'm feeling it, man. I'm feeling it.
Listen, we
still gotta give you that in-house feel, even though it's COVID. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
we have been drinking a little bit and taking the medicine. So
but it's still early over here. It's still early.
It's super early for him. It's 9 o'clock for him.
Early morning dude. And real talk, we go over here in the West Coast, but I'm originally an East Coast guy. I'm an East Coast guy.
You come from Boston.
Yeah, exactly.
Beantown, if you will.
And you're a dreaded Patriots fan. I wanted to wait until we were on air to say this. Yeah, I'm a Giants fan. And I took great pleasure in that Super Bowl.
You guys were bred to just hate me.
Yes.
I'm a reformed Jets fan, so I despise you.
He roots for the Ravens now, but I'll say this. He is not one of those I'm not going to throw him under the bus. Mm-hmm. He is not a fair weather fan.
Okay.
Stuck through the Jets.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
For as long as I've known him, and for most of his most of his life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He made the difficult choice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't respect him for it, but I guess some.
It's like I'm LeBron or KD, and I signed with a different team, bro. I'm getting backlash from my fucking fandom. I'm like, this is insane.
That.
It's ridiculous. But listen, you know what? We're gonna talk to we come here. We're gonna talk to you, Mr. Cole. Mm-hmm. So let me tell the audience how I found Gerard.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So as people know, BTB, we do have a in with the strongman world. I'm a strongman fan. We've had Big Liz on. We've had Andrea Thompson. Mm-hmm. We've had Monica, and we've had Bobby Thompson. So
We
tried. You know what I mean? So you know what I mean? So like I love the strongman. Los is starting to get into it now because of everyone we've getting on. So I found you because I follow Martinssss. Martinssss. So like we're definitely a Martinssss household in here. Shout out to Martinssss. He is the current world's strongest man. Yeah, the dragon. He's a savage out there. So I was following Martinssss, and then I saw that Martinssss was gonna be on the podcast. Mm-hmm. Turning Coal into Diamonds, and then he did some great marketing shit. He was like it basically showed that Martinssss was going to reveal some information, which he did. Was that it was possible that he was thinking about possibly leaving World's Strongest Man and going to play for Tampa Bay Buccaneers because his manager is the same manager for Gronk because they met during a commercial. I listened to the podcast.
Yeah. That's exactly it.
You know what I'm saying? So.
That's an exclusive drop right there.
Exclusive drop.
Exclusive. And I was like, and the whole time, and so one thing about me and one thing about Los is that we are black as fuck and we love black people. No matter how they come. So the minute I saw you and I was like, oh, he's a black podcaster, I gotta see what's good with him. And I started looking at your shit and I was like, oh, this motherfucker's funny. Like I said,
thanks, Samuel.
Yeah.
I said,
some people say different.
Fuck them. You ain't here for them. Fuck them. Because I'm the kind of person that when I like when I'm trying to decide if I'm about to follow somebody or I like them, I'll go back weeks of your shit. Yeah. I'll go back until I can't. You know what I mean? Until I really can't. So he did a video of him in a pink tutu. We're not
like a fairy costume,
costume,
wings and everything.
He goes to Five Guys Gets a burger.
In and out.
Oh, In and Out. Excuse me. I'm sorry. In and Out.
You got to rep the West Coast.
I'm sorry.
Bro.
You're right. It was In and Out. It was In and Out.
It looked similar though.
Yeah.
You didn't see that it was In and Out.
He went to In and Out. Got his food. Danced after he got his food, and then respectfully left. It's this tutu. We're not done. We're just beginning.
Yeah.
He goes to work out. And it's like he's going up these rocky stairs in this full outfit. And then the camera cuts and we see Mr. Cole on the treadmill running, takes a black bag, opens it, and eats his motherfucking burger that looked absolutely delicious on the treadmill while running. And I could not hold anything. It was like 6 a.m. East Coast time.
Yeah.
I was fucking crying. And then his stand up. He does stand up.
Yeah.
That shit had me fucking. I was kind of I was setting up notifications for him at like 6 a.m.
That's hilarious.
East Coast times. It was like 3 o'clock his time. And I'm just like, this shit is great. Yo, this shit I'm commenting like you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You came through, and I loved it.
Bro, I like a true fan and like follow and still listen to your shit now. Yeah. It's fucking hilarious.
Appreciate you, bro.
That's dope.
So my question is, when did you get your aha moment to figure out that you wanted to get into this comedy shit? Because being a comedian is fucking rough. Like I'm not a comedian, but I listen to enough Joe Rogan, Joe Diaz, Bert and Tom to know.
Yeah.
Y'all track is difficult.
I've had a few moments because I feel like if you listen to the journey, it goes in and out. It definitely goes in and out. But what happened is I was in a moment where like I had left. Well, let me not say this. I was laid off of a really good job, and I was like in this moment of like, and it wasn't in anything in entertainment. And I'm from like I love comedy. I've always just been naturally an entertainer. So in that moment, it was like, where's my next move? And so I tried stand-up for the first time, and it went well. That was the moment for me, actually. I say this, the very first time I did stand-up and I got off stage was the first time I felt like an artist. Like I've written, I dabble in music, like I can play the piano and stuff like that. And I've never been like amazing at anything, but when I got off that stage and I've like people like, and of course they were my friends and stuff like that, so some of it was like false, like not even false, but you know what I mean, like your friend's always gonna hype you up, but like at the same time it was like, for me, I was like, oh, this is it, this is where I can bring all of my writing, myself, my fun, all of that all into one spot. And so that's like, that was the first one. But like, after you bomb a few times and things happen, like it's not always so glorious.
I was about to say, what was your first bomb?
What is your first bomb? And then I'm gonna follow it up with, what is your greatest bomb?
Oh my, okay. My first bomb that I can really remember that stands out, actually, it was funny because it was the first time I actually had a family member in the audience. And so it was like, I just had a show before, I believe at even the Comedy Store out here, that went amazing. If it wasn't at the Comedy Store, it was another.
People who don't know that the Comedy Store is the Comedy Store is the spot. Exactly.
And the day that show went amazing. The day after, my cousin came to another show, and I said the first joke and then I forgot everything. Like I was just blank. I was just fucking blank. And I don't even remember what the next thing I said, but then like a few people chuckled, and then I kind of just riffed off the crowd. And that was the first time that I riffed a little bit too. So it's like I kind of got it back a little bit, but it was definitely not a strong set. And it was a cool like 30 seconds that felt like a 2 minutes of silence where I was like,
what do you like? Yeah, y'all comedians.
And then my cousin was there, so I was like, she's gonna go tell my family, like, Gerard's like, he's gonna be a bum. Like, he's like,
I don't know what he's out here in California doing, but
exactly.
You better come back out here to the East Coast and figure this shit out.
Exactly.
How so like in that moment, do you have to have like a good freestyle ability to be able to?
Oh, for sure. And
like
that was early
improv
on.
background, like
yeah. And right now, for sure, I always have a joke kind of in the back pocket that's like ready for
emergency.
You know what I mean? Like if a joke doesn't land, I have something down. Cause like that was early on where I was kind of like, I didn't think about it, strategically. Whereas now I plan kind of for, like, I don't plan to bomb, obviously, but if you try a new joke or something and it doesn't land, I have something like that's going to follow up with that's going to get a laugh that goes into something else. You know what I mean?
Right. I don't think people understand, like, if they don't really like follow comedy, they don't understand like how strategic and how technical y'all are with y'all jokes, and like everything is not what it seems.
No, not at all.
So here's my question: you as a comedian, I have to ask this: is there anything that is untouchable?
Well, see, this is what's crazy because like white people are gonna go real mad right now. But I also feel like I'm a black gay comedian. So I feel like, and I'm very savvy where like I feel like it's all about deliverance, you know what I mean? And I feel like when I'm on stage, first of all, I come off kind of like clean cut a lot of times, so people don't expect me to be as vulgar as I am and things like that. And so sometimes that shocks people. And so like I've talked about like rape, I've talked about cancer, I've talked about things, but it's all about delivery because I've talked about some of those things and I've gotten laughs and I've said the same joke in a different crowd and it's like, okay, this is not, you know what I mean? But it's all about how you do it. And sometimes I've been drunk or high or, like it all depends on even my own like come from too, you know what I mean? But like,
right.
I try, like right now in my life as a comedian, I would say I don't want to say anything is untouchable because my job is to make things funny. You know what I mean? So I can, and I've seen people, I've been actually trying to get him on my podcast. Another comedian I know, I want to have him on because he has a joke about his brother committing suicide. And it's literally written amazing. Like it's so funny the way he's written it and it's his story. But I've seen it really get a lot of laughs and I've seen the crowd just like, be dead because it's like, how do you laugh about somebody taking their life? You know what I mean? But that's his way of celebrating his brother's life and remembering him and, bringing it into his craft and stuff like that. And it really is from a like a writer standpoint, it is written very well. It's really funny, but it's also like such a hard topic.
I think that's why like I have so much admiration for comedians because I kind of got introduced really like heavily into the comedy world, like the mechanics of comedy through the Joe Rogan podcast and then following different other comedians and they talk about that. So I understand the vulnerability that y'all go through and the depths that y'all go through, but for him to really tackle that in such a way,
no, it's wild.
I definitely want to hear that podcast. I need to hear like
that's crazy.
Like as a creator, as another creator,
that flip is crazy. To even try to make that flip is insane.
Can we just talk about the goal and the strength of him as an artist and the vulnerability that he's just gonna be like, you know what? I'm not only gonna talk about some shit you're not supposed to talk about. It's gonna be from my own fucking brother. So like, I'm really gonna put myself out like
completely.
That. Good goddamn.
Yeah.
Ooh. This is the kind of shit you get on Turning Cole into Diamonds every Monday and Friday, baby. Tune in anywhere you find your podcast needs.
But you know what? That's a testament too sometimes to the creator because sometimes that it's a lot dealing with with your emotions and getting into art. Imagine losing someone you loved. It could be very hard to create. Somehow you rose above that and made this beautiful art in the form of whatever you made it in, based off whatever you were feeling. This emotion. So it's just a beautiful way of channeling the emotion through the art form.
It's real, and honestly, like that's why talking to him about the actual, like, coming up with that, and even his family's take on it, because I've seen his family in the audience, you know what I mean? And it's crazy. And I think one of the things that I've learned even now is, like, I learned this early on being gay and Black, but even in today in 2020, it's like my very first show in person this year because of quarantine wasn't a very Gerard-esque show. You know what I mean? Because it was very real. It was very about what's going on in the world. And it was my job to make it funny. So of course I did. But it was also, sometimes, like, and where I was a very white audience. But I think as artists, we have to really realize or think about, like, what's more important, the message or, like, appeasing them, like, a group of people or masses of people, and that's that. And I think that's what it was for him. I think that's, like, for him, it was about, this is what he wanted to create. And it's yeah, you know what I mean?
Don't you? But wouldn't you say that
Wild.
us as artists, if you're not being your most authentic self, then you're really just wasting everyone's time.
For real, completely.
Because like, no one wants to buy into the person that's half
bullshit.
in. Yeah, like, jump in that some bitch.
There's enough of it.
It's a beautiful thing. But then, speaking of bullshit, I have to talk about, and I'm like, listen, I make it my mission to piss people off on this show.
I love that. Let's do it.
Like, so speaking of the bullshit, you live in fucking California, where you have the politics of the industry. What's good with that shit? Like, can we just chop it up, like, real? Like, let's just chop that shit up. Like, what? Because I hear a lot of, like, when I watch different podcasts, I hear them always talk about the industry and industry people, shit like that. Like, what has been your experience with these savages?
Let me say this. I've learned early on in life that you got to learn how to play the game that you're in. And I mean that by, like, you got to learn the rules. You got to figure out how to play your pieces and be strategic and stuff like that. But, like, I feel like it is real. Like, what you hear out there, as far as, like, especially even me as, like a bigger gay Black man, sometimes it does become harder. Sometimes it's, like, it depends on like, right now I feel like as things are opening up a little bit for us, but at the same time, it's been very, like, I even just dyed my hair all Black because being, like, half blonde, half, like, it puts me in a spot where it, like, I can't play, like, I've been told
can't play certain roles.
Exactly. Like, I can't play a prominent lawyer or something like that, because then I look too hipster or cool, or even just, like, effeminate. Like, it puts me automatically in this gay character, and it's like, so now I have to be in this box where it's, like, all Black puts me in a place where we're on picture right away, I get in more rooms. And then it's up to me what I do with auditions and stuff. You know what I mean?
I see.
And,
this is, like, the overall casting.
And when I first came out here, when I was shopping for agent and stuff like that, I'll never forget this email. I sent this email with my headshots, a resume, all this stuff. And I got a few people that responded, but this one guy that were, like, positive. And this one guy literally was like, we have enough overweight Black men. That was just it. Because it's like, that's what they put you in a category, and that's how they ship you. When they need a Black bigger person in the age of 23 to whatever, I'll get an audition. When they need somebody that's, like, a gay character between the ages of whatever, and that's when I'll get an audition. And that's how it works. It's not like I just can get, like, they're just doing a character and, like, they're send actors. You know what I mean? Like, one of my agent right now commercially, I love him because I'm one of the few Black men that he has. So I get more auditions from him because I don't have to fight as hard with other Black actors.
You know what? What you're saying makes a point, because Lowe's and I, we've had the privilege, we had the privilege to be able to interview some Broadway stars, and we interviewed basically a lot of the genies on Broadway. Like, I don't know the percentage number, but it's basically most of them. So it's funny, but it's dead ass. Like, principals and understudies, dead ass.
Yeah.
And one thing that
the whole casting,
the whole cast. Wow. One thing that you heard, no matter if it was Trevor, Major, Juwan, Deontay, or Corey,
stop.
No matter, or Ellis,
stop.
No matter, yeah, low key start. No matter if it was any of them, each one of them was proud of the work the other ones were doing.
Mm-hmm.
Largely in part because of them as human beings are just great humans. Right. But then besides that,
they're appreciative of each other. It was a respect.
But they spoke about the industry, saying that, listen, of course, I'm glad to see another big black man out there doing what he needs, because all of them are big black men. So like of course, we want to see another big black man killing it, because not only does he deserve it, but then it makes it easier for the rest of us, and then they also make work for the rest of us.
Completely.
And going back to your point of just saying that, of course, put
everybody in the box.
Yeah, he's in a box and he's got to compete.
Yeah.
So,
it is.
Yeah, you go to an audition and you just see different versions of yourself. It's hilarious. Like, it's so funny. Like, you just.
You know what? Okay. So here's a question we have for you.
Yeah.
Who is your arch nemesis? So have you? We need to know who's that motherfucker when you walk in. You just like,
I don't have. I'm one of the people, like you just said. I'm out here. I'll go to auditions and I'm weird. I'm out there rooting for everybody, because I'm like when you listen to my podcast, it's really like, I'm a comedian, but I love inspirational shit. Like, that's why I love Joe Rogan. I love feeding my mind. And I'm out here, and I believe just like whatever's meant to be is meant to be. You know what I mean? Right. Whatever's meant for you will always be for you. Nothing will get in the way of that. So like when I go to audition and I'm like prepared and ready, I'm out there and I'm talking, I'm chilling. Like, you know what I mean? If I'm like, most of the time I'm in my zone, but if I need to sometimes you're there with like 7 other people, and the last audition I went to was for a Checkers commercial right before COVID. It was the Friday before everything got shut down. And me and these 4 dudes, we looked the same, and we were wearing the same jean jacket, black pants, like white shoes. It was just it was funny. And then that was the thing, we decided actually to go in as a squad and say like we did this, like we were a group picture or whatever. And it was actually it really worked out for the commercial, because it was actually we're supposed to be at a party and stuff like that. But that was something that we just decided to do, because it was hey, we look alike. It looks better that we do this rather than go in one after another, freaking in the same outfit. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so that was just I just believe we all got to support each other. We all got to root for each other. You know what I mean? And just
facts.
Exactly.
Real facts. All right, so you ain't got no arch nemesis.
I ain't got no arch nemesis.
Ellis did. Shout out to Ellis for putting out his. He did have one.
He did.
But it's not like a real arch nemesis. It's just oh, you again. You know what I mean? It's just really they don't have animosity, but it's everywhere I am, you are. So you know what I mean?
That's
but
funny.
Still,
that's funny.
That's funny. Yeah, I don't got one of those. No, I got one of those.
Nah, not yet. One day. Listen, eventually I'm hoping that obviously we're going to get big enough that eventually it's going to be oh,
there we go.
It's that group again. You know what I mean? It's oh.
Hopefully that group has the law. So
the law, we got no issue with the law. Why?
I'm just saying.
Nah, it ain't gonna be we're the kind of group the podcast that they're probably just off.
Yeah.
They ain't even gonna we're not gonna go to court with these guys. They're just too radical. You see the shit that they're pushing?
I love that.
They don't give a fuck. Speaking of not giving a fuck, there has been a lot since you live in California.
Yeah.
You're the best person to ask this.
Give it to me.
There's been a lot of people, from politicians to comedians to podcasters. A lot of people are just saying that California is going straight down the shit and that everyone's leaving.
Who was saying? Wait. Hold on.
I know where was that quote from?
Well, it's not.
Who the fuck is saying these?
I paraphrased the quote.
That was a strong paraphrase.
Trump has said it.
Oh, okay.
Rogan has said it.
Okay.
His little group of friends have said it.
Uh-huh.
You even like hear certain like news like groups. They just write articles just saying that there's like
there's a
great
lot
migration.
of actors.
The same thing that they say about New York, and we live in New York.
Right.
The same thing they say about New York. So I'm just trying to ask you, since you live, like I know what people are saying about us here, and I'm just like, yeah, a lot of that's bullshit. So I'm just asking you, what is true and what is not true? Like how is Cali? What is it like?
What's the question? How's Cali and what's it
like? Like, are people really leaving in mass waves?
And
is it as bad as people like trying to make it out to be?
I thought it was woman, weed, and weather. That's what I thought it was. So why the fuck? What's the question here? You know what I mean?
People saying that they're leaving, like the government's doing.
People are leaving. People are leaving, and I wouldn't say it's necessarily a bad thing because I'm definitely one of the people that thinks LA and Cali is a little oversaturated. I'm a transplant myself, so I can't talk too much shit. But like I've been here for decades, so I've made my territory. But what's real is like people are leaving because I just think I've even thought about it because right now as a comedian, like it's so weird, but like places like Florida and Texas and Arizona and stuff, they're open. So you can do a show. You can get paid for it. You can freaking, do what you want to do. But there is a risk because, we are in COVID. There is a pandemic. It's truly what you believe in and how you want to handle that. You know what I mean? I'm also like, am I a comedian that will thrive in Florida and Texas and Arizona? I'm not sure.
Right.
I'll do it for a paycheck. I'll go out there and piss some people off.
You know what though? I would and I would argue in certain places in Texas, it would go
for sure. For certain places anywhere, I'm sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So you absolutely could thrive anywhere. I think you know what I mean? Like pressure makes diamonds, turning coal into diamond. You got this.
In Florida.
You know what I'm saying?
You got this.
No, that ass.
Tell pressure to diamond.
That ass. I'm not even trying to be. I'm being dead. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I really like I think that like especially nowadays, one thing that America has gotten the point to of now is that everyone hates everyone. Yeah. But we have gotten to the point that you will listen to something funny, someone that you don't like.
For sure.
Like says, like for instance, like I hate Donald Trump.
Yeah. Oh, here we go.
But you can't tell me he's not top 5 funniest motherfuckers. Yeah. Walking this earth, right?
Top 5,
bro. I mean,
I don't know
the fact that you know what,
I'll put some more comedians ahead of that.
Why?
Yeah, for sure.
You want to know why he's top 5?
He definitely top 20.
You want to know why?
He's funny.
Because
he's funny, all right. If he follow racism and bigotry, funny.
He turned one of the greatest countries in the world.
Oh, here we go.
Into one of the biggest laughing stocks.
Dude, it's true.
In under like bro, we like this
in half.
Everything's is a fucking joke. This is like when we live in the fucking Pandora's box because of this savage motherfucker. You see what I'm saying? So when I say he's top 5 funnies, like look, he's fooled the whole country. He's fooled the whole fucking country. You understand? Like this is where we're at now. So like. I don't even know what my original point was.
That's why I said here we go. I knew it.
This fucking savage.
That's
God
funny.
damn it. And it's
something about hating people.
Oh, I hate a lot of people. But I hate a lot of politicians. I hate a lot of them. And then he likes to act like he's not one, but he really is.
Yeah.
Like it's like, bro. It's like first of all,
you think so?
You were born in the money.
We're talking about top 5 funniest people, and you're talking. I think you're saying like you could anybody would watch somebody that's funny or something.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just saying because Donald Trump got elected.
Yeah.
So the fact that he got elected means that anybody got a chance anyway.
It's true.
Oh yeah,
I mean this is America.
And it just proves that you don't have to be.
America.
If Trump could get that job, you could get any job.
what I'm saying. It doesn't like nothing's restrictive. So that's what I'm
I
saying.
could be an astronaut. I could be an astronaut. There's nothing stopping me from being an astronaut.
I guess that's the American dream, right? Anybody can do anything.
And I guess that's
just with a little bit of Russian help.
A little bit of Russian help.
Yeah.
A lot of
racism.
And no, not even that. Besides that, but like a lot of just lying to other.
Is a heavy dose of racism. Though.
A heavy dose of racism and lying to poor white people that you care about them when you don't give a fuck about them.
Wild
and then he uses his race, his bigotry and racism
completely.
He uses it in a way to really just elect a response. Completely. But to be honest with you, half the time, sometimes I'm wondering if he's just doing it for a response, because something that no one is talking about is during that last debate, they said that 500 something kids are locked in cages.
Yeah,
they not gonna find their parents. Joe Biden went on some tangent. And he said that it's ridiculous and whatever the case may be, which as he should have. Do you know what Donald J. Trump said? No, he didn't even say that.
Who put them in cages?
No, he didn't even say that. As they were ending, because the moderator was trying to shift the topic.
Yeah.
He said, like they said that all these kids are locked in cages, can't find their parents. He goes, good. No one has said anything about that.
Nah.
He says good. Yes, clear as motherfucking day. Swear, I'll put my right hand on any sacred book.
I'm gonna go back and put subtitles on.
Yo, the dead he says good, like it's the most ridiculous fucking shit. So, but when I'm hearing him do some of this shit, I'm just like, are you really this wild, or are you just trying to play to a fan base? Because honestly, you have the biggest.
He is.
You keep talking about Joe Biden, but your whole term is nepotism.
I mean, he has to play to a fan base because that's his people that vote for him.
Yeah, Ben had a fan base.
I definitely don't believe that. I definitely believe that there are things that he says that he just has to say because he's put on this platform. You know what I mean? I definitely believe he's like semi-racist and definitely like he's homophobic and all this other stuff that we can go into and shit like that. But like at the end of the day, I definitely believe that there's a role that he's playing because that like he played. I've only seen. I'm damn out to be quoted, but the people that I've seen vote for Trump or the people that I've heard in my realm, there's only few that I've been like, wow, that's an intelligent person or mindset. Like that's voting for this guy. Every other person, I'm just like,
you know what?
Man, you use your vote, like whatever you need to do, because like that's your right. But like in my mind, I'm learning to try and not judge people. But I'm like, you sound dumb as fuck. I'm learning this lesson. And these are the people in my realm. You know what I mean? Like I had a dude that just like he's a gangster. Like America needs a gangster, and I'm like,
there are a lot of those people. And then it is interesting when you do have people. When you do have people who can articulate a way to vote for Donald J. Trump, I just honestly, to me, I guess the biggest thing is just when you look at it and you have to go, wow.
Sheesh.
Exactly.
These are the options.
First of all, these are the options. Like
the fact that we got Joseph, like Joe Biden, like
scraping the bottom of the barrel.
And one thing too that I kind of, because one thing about me is like I study the art of war, and I believe in you gotta look at your enemy and be able to know that enemy, know that enemy, but then give them their props so you can learn and take from them.
Right.
Yeah.
There were certain points that he was pointing out that I was like, well, Joe, you have been in office 47 years and you just sway. Matter of fact, we need to get all you old motherfuckers out. That's the issue.
That's real.
That's the real issue. You motherfuckers is voting in a whole bunch of fucking shit. Yeah. But you know what? Let's get off the dumpster fire that is American politics. Because who knows?
Completely. Yeah.
Because Lord knows, we can
go in. This will be 2-3 hours. We won't even watch the football today.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know what I mean? Exactly. You know what I mean? We all know that we got some football coming up. But I want to know, for you and your comedy.
Yeah.
Is there when you're approaching a joke or anything like that, do you like to obviously you use some real experiences, but are you at the point that you try to write a good joke so that you'll just be making some shit up just to see if you can write this joke to see how it'll go?
Well, let's say every comedian, I feel like, extends the truth a little, to make a good joke. You know what I mean? Like,
No. What I'm asking, but how much?
A little flavoring.
No, but no. That's surreal stories. But I'm talking about how much of your act is of you at times just thinking, you know what? I think this would be funny if I put myself in this situation and this happened. I think that this would be a really funny joke, or just constructing a joke from scratch. Like you just make a joke, like nothing happened. You're like, you know what? I'm gonna make a joke based off of this.
Yeah. I actually write. It's so funny you asked that because in between my stories are written jokes that I just wrote out and I weave them into like a whole bit. And so I do just write a joke from like random, and I just like, and if I pull out my phone, I can have I have notes of just random jokes, and then I figure out like a lot of times like how a full set will come to mind will be because I will literally have like, man, I really want to talk about this. I really want to do that. I really want to do that. How am I going to do it? And so then I figure out like how I'm going to put it all together. And so some of it is like, you add a little flavoring. Some of it you stretch it out. Some of it you make a whole new piece. But I've only taken one comedy, like, if you will, class. And I was told in that class not to like if I'm not a dad or something, not to like talk about my kids or whatever, you know what I mean? Like make it like really authentic to you. So I've never really done anything like made up, but like there is a realm where like you can make up in a situation like this is what I would do, in a way. And that's kind
of that's what I mean. That's what I mean.
Exactly. And I have done something like that. Exactly.
Okay. Yeah, because I've always wondered, like, because there's certain things, we listen to comedians, that it's always authentic. But like I said, I wonder if certain of it is kind of like, the comedian's writing a joke and he's like, all right, this never happened to me. But if this happened to me, like this would be pretty funny because like it may have happened to his friend.
Yeah.
And he just goes, you know what? If it happened to me, I would have did this, but I'm going to construct this joke
for sure
like this, just because I watch like a lot of podcasts, and lately the one that I've been on a lot, like I've been really tuned into, is Two Bears One Cave and Your Mom's House.
I've only seen a few, but yeah.
I fuck with it. It's just the savageness of it, but the few times that I love you, Bert Kreischer, but the few times that Bert is really dialed in and talking some real intelligent shit is when he talks about constructing a joke with Tom. And then one thing that I have to give Bert credit for is that how he speaks about how he constructs a joke, but then like how he'll go like, hey, like, why can't I write this generation's knock joke?
Interesting. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like kind of like, why don't I have the why can't I write like because what he said is he wants
Sorry. I was gonna say there's difference. I've learned not to say that I don't experiment and stuff like that and like I'm boring, but I kind of know my lane at the same time, and I'm not like a one-liner comic. That's something that I definitely learned about myself is like I'm not going to go on stage and just give you a bunch of one-liners. Like for me, that's one, like I just don't have the personality to do it. I feel like I would bore myself like doing that.
Right.
But so that's why like I do write one-liners, but I weave them into. I've learned that I'm a storytelling comic. You know what I mean? And so I've written a bunch of one-liners that I can weave into a story. Like I tried one-liners at first, and it just like I said, it didn't work for me. But like eventually, I learned that like I'm really good at. I'll be talking about like sucking a dick and then go into fucking 2020 and Black Lives Matter and have the crowd eating at the palm of my hand, giving me a standing ovation. You know what I mean? And
Trump, the only dick you can't handle.
Huh?
Trump, the only dick you can't handle.
Exactly.
Quoted by Gerard. Exactly. Quoted by Gerard Cole.
March through the street with that sign. I love you, Mom, with that. You right?
I saw that shit and I almost fucking cried.
Yeah.
Like I can't.
Talking about the industry, I just got into a point too where like, for me, like I when I first, that march happened, I think it was June 13th or June 14th. And I didn't post that picture because I was actually hopefully going to be on a network TV show. And that's something that you cannot have on probably your social media. One, because it's political and it's like very declaring of us. I don't even think that's pretty much as bad right now. But like to say like Trump is the only dick you can't handle and then trying to be on like ABC or like Fox or something is also a thing. And so like I'm not going to be on that show. And I'm also in a place where like right now I'm like comedy is my focus. My podcast is my focus. Like if I'm not on a network sitcom, it's not, I don't care. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's also why I put that up there recently. And especially because where we're at, I want people to know exactly where I am. Not that people didn't know, but
let it like
exactly,
you will put your stamp in the mud.
But that's also very like talk about the industry. And even up until like, I think 2020 has made it a little bit more welcoming because of COVID and everything going on. But there was definitely a time where like it was very much like, don't talk about politics on social media and even in auditionings and like auditions or stuff like that, because you never know who's in the room. You don't know what director, who they're going to vote for, what their beliefs are and all that stuff, you know. So it's always been told like, don't talk about that.
Yeah, no, that always has been. Yeah. I remember when we first started Unspoken Truth, it was like that, but we always kind of just said like we always just like fuck it.
I mean, we try to do what best we could do, but
exactly,
you know, you really try to like dance around those things in the early days, and now it's just like we've broke it down to the point where, you know, people know who we are now. So it's like,
you know,
they're
going. If we get big enough that it becomes a problem, then obviously we're doing something right.
But I don't think that's the thing. I think it's about like, I think we have to.
Even if it wasn't accepted, that's what I mean. Exactly. Like I don't. Like if it's accepted, not accepted, like, you know, fuck these people. Like, you know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, I don't give a goddamn. But
so I had a question for you.
Yes.
So I was hoping here that maybe you could give us a little excerpt of a bit that you had here. I don't know if you had any of them memorized, but I wanted to see if you could give a good joke for the people.
I don't know if that's a good question to ask a comedian in such a way, but what I think we could ask, which would be a little bit of a better realm, is what is like a real life experience that you just said I can't make into a bit, but you don't mind talking about?
Ooh. What's crazy is I'll answer both questions, kind of. What do you mean though by a bet? Like, to answer your first question, I'll give you kind of one of my favorite jokes. And this joke came up, and I feel like it might even answer both your questions. Oh, no, it doesn't. But anyways, I go on stage and I talk a lot about how I'm like dating and stuff like that. And I say, so I just basically just got out of a relationship, and the crowd always kind of like, ooh, I'm so sorry, whatever. And I go like, oh, don't worry, it was mutual. And by mutual, I mean, he didn't know we were dating. And that
I've seen this. You have it on your channel.
Exactly. And that always gets laughs and stuff like that. And that actually came up from an experience that like I didn't at first think I could talk about, because like I literally thought I was going on a date, and this dude brought a date on our date. And we like it was wild, and it was crazy. Like I was like, it was embarrassing. I was like,
wait, they try to make it like a throuple thing? Like what?
No. It was like literally. Apparently, he thought we were just friends at the moment, but just literally this. Like you can listen to this on my first episode of my podcast, actually, because like I go into more details. But it ends up being a joke, and it was the first time I actually kind of had like revenge, if you will, because I said that joke and invited him to my show where I talked about him for the first time, and so he knew that, and like it was.
What did he say?
Oh, I mean, he was like
Yeah, that's what I
apologize. And like he was just like trying to like. I mean, honestly, it was a weird situation where he was like, it was like he was a scrub. Honestly, he was like he was a fuckboy. He was trying to like, I was like trying to like play me really, and I was just like, fuck you, dude. Like not really. So that's why I kind of like embarrassed him because I actually pointed him out in the crowd too. So like it was a real thing.
That's great.
Now we're just,
I love that kind of shit.
We're just being petty.
So I have a question. To continue on the petty train, do we want to say his name or at him right now?
No,
I'm perfectly fine with that.
No. I've grown since that.
Good for you. Bad for the content. But yes, we understand. We understand. We're all about the fuckery.
Yeah. But to answer more your question about it, there's never really. I've always tried to in life. I try to stretch myself. So like, as a comedian, just as a writer, even as an artist, I try to know if anything like affects me that much that I'm like quote unquote afraid to write about it. I pretty much will know I'll write about it. And like, I kind of go into more details about this story too. But like last year in 2019. I basically was the victim of a hate crime in an Uber. He called me a faggot and a nigger and like basically put his hands on me and I defended myself. Cops were called and immediately the cops pulled out guns, put me in handcuffs, detained me and like didn't even get my information. I have it on video and all this stuff too. And like the bottom of the line too is I got banned from Uber and this guy still potentially can just pick up driver like rides and stuff like this and keep moving about his business. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And that was something that really affected me like hugely. And it was just 2019 and like talking about like LA and California, what it's like that was in Los Angeles in the middle of Hollywood where I was like, oh man, this is supposed to be the most progressive, like one of the most progressive places you think, you know what I mean? And this shit still happens to people. This still stuff goes on. Like, it's not, that was like, I've always been about, you know, like I'm Black, you know what I mean? I'm gay. Like, I've always been like, I know what it's about being like having diversity or being at, what am I trying to say? Having adversity and like, just, you know, knowing what it's like, you know what I mean? But like to fucking have that happen where like, somebody put my hands on me, I defended myself in an Uber, you know what I mean? And like cops show up the way they did. And
I hope you fucked him up.
That's why they showed up. Well, the reason why, like one of the reasons
he said, yeah.
Well, no, like real talk is one of the reasons why there's been a huge struggle in the issue is like, and there's so much I can talk about is he had more physical damage on him than I had on me. So it's hard to prove that I was defending myself. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You brought thunder and lightning and he just didn't know what happened.
And it's just
like, he wrote a check that he couldn't cash.
And it's just like, dude, if you're going to, and it's just that simple. You know what I mean? And I have it on tape where he fucking says that he did like, he only cause he says I can't remember exactly the language, but he was like, only because I grabbed him. And I'm like, well, why'd you grab me, bro? Like, why is your hands on me? There's no reason why an Uber in the front seat of a car should ever have their hands on somebody in the back seat. And he was outside of his car. You know what I mean? But anyways, it really, that story, like, I was like, it was something that I always wanted to bring into a joke and bring into something, but I never knew how. But it was definitely, that's a joke that I did actually, or I brought it into my set in my last show, the first show that I did live, actually. It was actually, so yeah, to answer your question, I try not to let anything really stop me, but like that took a whole year before that got into a joke, almost 2 years even.
Fuck him.
Yeah.
His mama should have spit him out. That was the first. That was the first issue. His mama should have spit him out.
Real talk, but I mean that's life, yo. We all have our.
Yeah. People just come from a lot of fuck up, such as life, and then they get fucked up. Didn't we talk? We talked about this on an episode.
Starting to get heavy.
Yeah, we talked. No. We talked about this on an episode prior that we recorded with Ellis and Makai. Shout out to them. Created of For the Boys podcast. For the Boys series. It's going to be a web series. Right. It's actually going to be about 3 young Black gay men growing up. Not growing up, but in Brooklyn, you know, in their mid to late 20s, living their life. 3 drastically different people. And we said on the podcast that y'all think that gay people just out here letting y'all do whatever you want. You don't get fucked up. And you just proved the point. You just proved the fucking point. That's what we tried to tell you. You will get fucking thunder, lightning, and get put to sleep. Night, bitch. You should have fucking had your Wheaties, but that shit ain't save you.
Yeah.
Y'all keep talking this shit. But
talking.
listen, Mr. Cole. We appreciate you for stopping by Black of the Berry Gangland. Sure. We appreciate that. My good brother, his good brother, our good brother. Do you want to just give, listen, real quick, as Sean Evans would say, real quick, you've earned your 2 minutes of fame, this camera, or only that camera. Do you want to let people know what you're doing and where they can find you at?
Yes, of course. Well, we've been talking about it already. Find me wherever you listen or watch your podcast, Turning Coal into Diamonds. It's really, we all have cool moments, and it's about making them into diamonds. You know what I mean? It's obviously entertaining, and I'm a comedian, but we have real life guests that come in and talk about moments that, they didn't know were going to really take them to where they are now, and all that good stuff. So definitely tune in. Follow me on
a wide range of guests.
Yeah, wide range for sure. We've had the world's strongest man.
Yep.
We've had dancers. We've had life coaches. One of my guests next is going to be a sex coach. We had an amputee the last time as well, lost his leg in a motorcycle accident, and he's like a model now and all that good stuff. So yeah, just really check us out. There's a lot of great stuff on there. And you can find me on I Am Gerard Cole. That's my personal podcast where I have my comedy, all my life stuff. My website, GerardColeComedy.com, which is also TurningCoalIntoDiamonds.com, where you can find everything podcast related. Is there?
Peace, love, and chicken, Black America.
Yes, thank you guys. I really appreciate it. You guys are amazing. We're out here.
We appreciate it.
I gotta have you guys back on the podcast as well. That's gotta happen. So we'll talk about
would.
Yeah, that would.
We would love it. We've only been on one other podcast. So we would love to come in and kick it on there.
That'd be so sick.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, listen here, Black of the Berry. I am Dean. That is the Madman Loves. That right there is Mr. Gerard Cole. Peace, love, and chicken. We are out of here. Kind of fit, kind of fat. Sponsors, please. Come on, son. This is what we holla at us. Yo, Martinssss.
I love it.
Holla at the kids.